And then on the outside, we've got Jessica Chavon on the pole. Right next to her is going to be Estelle Perez, and then looks like Janina Johansson, and after that, I can't really see too well on that outside split, but you know Sophie Borgstrom is going to be lining up out there, as well as Kylie Elmers, Molly Fern, and Lisa Kassan Battaglia. That's the way it looks as we get ready to go. We'll be doing a beach start all weekend here at the GP of Kuwait. And that has proven to be both a lot fun for us to watch, but it's brought its own set of challenges for the racers. Just getting these boats in and out of the water has been tricky. The sand here definitely on day one was pretty deep, and so the whole team was having to work helping getting each one of these boats in and out of the water, particularly the runabouts. In fact, we had one of the tractors stuck yesterday. That was entertaining. We had a tractor pull. No extra charge for that. It's going to be the second moto for the girls, and as you can see, we've already done the parade lap. 22 nations represented, 62 riders, and a fantastic season opener. Temperatures have gotten a lot warmer day 2, and Krista Uzar almost had a premature acceleration. Dad able to hold on to it. She still came out with a great start. And coming up with more deuces, it is Janina Borgstrom with a Holeshot on the inside, followed by Krista Uzar, Yasmin Epraus, and Emanuele Ortendahl. Actually, Yasmin went down right off that final turn before they got around the can buoys. And we've had a switch. Emanuele ended up on the third place spot. Meanwhile, Janina Borgstrom with a Holeshot. Krista Uzar coming through in second. Sophie Borgstrom in third. Emanuele in fourth. And Jessica Chavon, fighting some kind of respiratory illness, is in fifth place. And a bummer for the young lady out of Estonia, Yasmin Epraus. She's had some great starts and really good finishes, particularly taking a look at her last year. She had several podiums, but right there, she had a high-speed exit. All right, there's our start as we get ready to go in this 15-minute moto. Bit of a recap. Emanuele had a second-place finish in moto number 1 and then went out to do the qualifying for the slalom and suddenly had some issues with her boat. Her coupler started to break down. Now she's going to try to ride that same machine for this second moto, but she's taken a risk on it. She had a couple of options here. She had an option to ride a boat that was mostly stock and also a QB boat, but that's really her favorite boat, the one that she's on right now, and obviously it's got all the horsepower. So they're going to give it a run, hoping that coupler will hang on for the 15 minutes, but she's definitely underpowered. Not that that's going to change her riding style one bit. As we get underway, we'll have the opportunity here for us to get some times for you. Let's take a look and see what Janina Borgstrom's going to do as she comes into this split section. You're watching Krista Uzar. She goes to the outside, and it's Janina Borgstrom on the inside. Well, she made that split work for her very well this morning. But what was interesting about Janina's ride today, she didn't just stay on the inside. She actually worked both of those split sections. I think that was a pretty brilliant move for this young lady out of Sweden. Giving her a lot of comfort. Oh, knocking on the door. Krista Uzar shuts down that second place, but Sophie Borgstrom, the mighty minion, you have got to see her helmet. Actually, they're zooming in on it right now. On the back of Sophie Borgstrom's helmet is a whole bunch of minions. One of the coolest custom helmets I've seen in a long time. She just got that brand new helmet, and it's out of a local designer in their hometown. Long shot of the left-hand side of the track. Coming off of that front stretch, they've got a very big series of technical turns. It starts with a triple right-hand turn into two singles, then a double and another triple, and then a double, and then you'll see right there as she takes the turn, she's gonna go on this backstretch, which is a straight shot over to the other side of the track. 1.8 kilometers, 31 pens. And I don't normally get to say that, but it's 31 pens for both the runabout and the stand-up class. We're watching Krista Uzar, and this is another technical section of this course. Deep course, and look how quick those turns are. She actually dives in on those two singles. I mean, you can barely, those are barely a boat length apart between those two single buoys. Then she goes back to another double, and then they get to pick where they're going to go in the split section. Right-hand side, I would say, is the more tricky of the two. But catching up with Krista yesterday, she actually liked a lot of parts of this course because there's so many opportunities to pass. One place they have not seen them passing, and that is in the split section, unless they're working each other on opposite splits. But these splits are very, very tight. Krista coming from the inside, and she broke down. Boat is going down. Oh, she had to do a stop and go, actually. So she's penalized for the 20 seconds. So she is going to sit there and watch the technical official, and when he gives her the go-ahead, she'll be able to go back out on the course. And that might have been, that actually might have been for the premature acceleration on the start. All right, so that's a 20-second penalty, and Krista's back out underway. Meanwhile, Janina Borgstrom with a 1.4883 as her fastest time. Second lap was a 1:49.39. Krista Uzar, her fastest time, that first one was a 1:49.22. And Sophie Borgstrom, who's now up in second, had a 1:49.31. Ortendahl in fourth, Siobhan in fifth, Perez in sixth, Grassa in seventh, and Elisa Kassan Battaglia in eighth. Looking for the young lady from, the other young lady from Sweden to move up, and that is Janina Johansson, who had her best qualifying this weekend ever, breaking into the top 10 for the first time. Got a chance to catch up with her. She is so funny to listen to. She was really excited about that. Taking a look at Emily Ortendahl, and the main thing that she's got to keep on is just stay focused and ride on the boat, stay present on the boat. It has got to be tricky when you know there's something going on underneath the hood, and you got to milk it, but you don't want to push it too hard. And it looks like Sophie went down briefly. It's not going to affect her. That was who you watched in the split section. And Eminelli got a little bit closer, but no change. Sophie has possibility of her best finish at this round, and you've got Janina Borgstrom leading as we have 6 minutes and 27 seconds into the race. 15-minute moto plus 1 lap. Again, Janina Borgstrom, Sophie Borgstrom, Eminelli Ortendahl, and Jessica Siobhan, and Estelle Perez are your top 5. And the young ladies that you would expect to see up there, 2 of them are back in the pack. And one of those is Krista Uzar, who had that 20-second time penalty, probably for the acceleration. She jumped, her dad pulled her back, but don't know if that was enough. That probably is what she got a penalty for. Ulrich Bernsen suffered that as well. We'll talk about it a little bit later. So Eminelli chasing the Borgstroms. On one of the warmest days that we've been here so far, Friday afternoon of racing. It's going to look like this on the schedule. We've got the women's class and then the men. The men's ski GP second moto, and then we'll be going into Runabout. And then freestyle is on the docket today. And you can see Janina Borgstrom, 3 laps in a row. She's taking the inside. She also has a brand new helmet. I have to say, watching her switch over into this combination, she's been training with Kevin Redder, and as I look up, Sophie Borgstrom's got company. Eminelli Ortendahl, coupler be darned, she's making a run for it on the front stretch. And Sophie had the line, and she never released it. Let's see if she's able to hold off Eminelli Ortendahl. She does hold her off in that triple right-hand turn. You can see that backup lanyard bouncing off of the ski. All of the riders are riding with the backup. Oh, and unfortunately, Krista Uzar got hit with a black flag. So they're going to bring her out of the water. Not sure what that was all about. We'll get back to you on what that penalty ended up being. Could be for a couple of things. Now, not holding your line is one of the deals that we'll talk about a little bit later as we come on the skis, because you'll have the chance to look at these buoys where they're watching for that. Rough riding could be another one. All right, Sophie Borgstrom on the road to one of her best finishes. If she can hold this spot in Moto number 2, it is second place for boat number 23. And she had been training with Eminelli and her sister Jana and Janina Johansson throughout the year last year. Here's some of Sophie's stats. She got a third in Moto number 3 in Qingdao and in Moto number 3 in Sharjah. 2 of her best finishes. Oh, Eminelli catches her and goes by her right at the end. Sophie had a little bit of an issue. She also got a black flag. That is intriguing. So 2 black flags for both Sophie and Krista Uzar, and we'll find out what those are for. I actually thought she went down, but the officials are right in front of the tower, right before the finish line. So really tough break for both Krista Uzar and Sophie Borgstrom, who will have to retire from the fill. I see Matea Reynes is on the live feed saying, go Emma. And we'll get you up on some of the other chatter on Facebook in just a minute. Great look at Janina Borgstrom. She lives in Henan, Sweden. Only 22 years old. And if you remember, she used to ride the Hydraspace, was kind of her boat of choice, but she's moved over to this SXR, and it has been a tremendous asset for her. In fact, most of the young ladies in the field have moved to the SXR, that 1500. You have the option to ride a 2-stroke in this class, and they will have limitations based on what machine you've got. I can go back through that with a little bit for you if you have questions on it. I touched on it yesterday. If you're riding in the SXR, you are limited to that 1500. You can't bring it up higher than that. All right, Jana coming out of that inside split, picks up on the merge. And she just laid that boat down and hit the gas. Get the chance to look at Estelle Perez, and she has been moving up in the points. And you've got Eminelli second, Jessica Chavon in third. Be the best finish for Jessica if she can get that. Estelle Perez is going to be in fourth. Again, Sophie Borgstrom was in second, got the black flag and had to come in. And so did Krista Uzar. Hey, Elga Uzar, I'll find out for you on why. And Susan Gilbert was also asking why on black flags. You could get it for a couple of reasons. Not holding your line on the start. You could also get it for rough riding. You could get it if you're repeatedly missing the course. You could get it if you had a connection with another rider and they call that unsafe riding. Could be a lot. I mean, there's multiple reasons for a black flag. Find out why both of those ladies got penalized after the race, and we'll get you caught up. Meanwhile, we are on 12 minutes and 54 seconds, and Janina Borgstrom has a 1:48.46 is her best run. Currently, she's a 1:51.50. Story is starting to heat up, though, as Eminelli Ortendal's last run was a 1:45.47. Feeling confident that that boat is going to hold together. She's only got a few more minutes. She's got an opportunity to open it up. And this could be it right here as Eminelli comes out of the outside split. Sophie Borgstrom in the inside. Both of them have the line as you got some clean water. Lapped riders moved over for them. But that is definitely a closer gap. Only 1.79 seconds separating Eminelli Ortendal from Janina Borgstrom. And Both of these riders have been training very, very hard. But here's what's interesting. Janina Borgstrom got the win this morning. And I know that Eminelli was trying to run her down, but that gave her a great boost of confidence. Now that she knows that she could beat Eminelli, she is going to be hungry for more of it. We're 14 minutes in. When they come back around on this, depending on where they hit, she has the opportunity to get her second white flag of the day, talking about Janina Borgstrom, your current leader. All right, you see those double buoys, that yellow and white? That's the signal to go hit the backstretch. Straight shot, not as easy as it looks. Take just a gander at the front of that boat and how much that boat has been pulling out of the water. Emma was saying that even on the start, one of the reasons that she didn't get such a good start was they were having a hard time keeping the boat locked in, keeping that boat connected. And you can just watch coming through here. Part of that, this Gulf is got a lot of salinity in it, and that is definitely going to lift up those boats slightly. All of those things make a difference in handling. As we come around taking a look on this outside, you've got Eminelli Ortendahl side by side with Janina Borgstrom, only 1.79, separated them before, and what a nice turn from Eminelli Ortendahl as she comes to the front stretch, and Janina Borgstrom bobbled slightly, stole the line from Eminelli. Janina Borgstrom, you rock star. All right, so here's the recap on that as Helena Borgstrom down on the beach has a heart attack. Oh my goodness. Okay, well here's the crazy news, all of that, and it's a white flag. So as Janina came out, she has to actually do a tiny little jog back to the left to pick up the buoy so she could run in to the end buoys, the checker flag buoys. And as she does that jog, she actually came over and stole the line from Eminelli. That was a smooth move, pro move. Emma was trying to sneak it. All right, one more. 1.09 separating these two on the white flag. And that is that backstretch I was telling you about. Look how much those boats are popping out of the water. And this is relatively flat. I can't wait to see what happens if we get some wind. We've had very calm conditions today. Winds from the north, upwards of about 68 degrees. There's that first series of turn. They go into the double, that quick single, and then look at this double and how far they have to go back. Look how far Janina has to kick it back to get into that inside split. She needs some gap. And then she's making run for the inside, and there goes Emma, and she picks up the start of the outside split on the final lap. Janina Borgstrom riding smooth. She takes a look over at Emma, and Emma's actually a little bit ahead of her coming into that split. Got the momentum, and she blows a little wide, and she's got this right now. Eminelli, and they both go down. They both go down. Both riders right before the end actually hit each other slightly, and that was just enough to roll both of the boats. And actually, Emma looks like she may need some assistance getting back on the boat. Looks like she tried to hold on to that. Unbelievable. And you can even see Estelle Perez coming through. Yeah, John is hurt. Maybe a little bit. Let's just see. We'll get him in. I'll get you an update on that. But Janina looks like she's might be injured off of it. That was a hard hit. Here's what happened on the recap of it. They came out of those splits, and Eminelli had the momentum. She had the opportunity to take the win. Janina pushed it, and as they came over, Janina was actually trying to push Emma off the line. It was a smart move. Any rider would have done the same, but at that point, the surf actually took both of them and connected the riders, and both those boats just imploded. And all of that happened right before the finish, and I'm not even sure how we would have called that finish. Eminelli Ortendahl, they said unofficially, but they actually went down off the boat before the finish line. Red flag is out as we get these riders back in. And they are walking Eminelli back up to the shore, but She is definitely looking that she might not be feeling too good. And Janina Borgstrom too. So red flag is out. We're gonna pause the race action here as we get these ladies checked out. What a crazy upset that was between the two of our top riders. And hopefully Janina Borgstrom is okay. And hopefully Eminelli Ortendahl is okay. What a crazy, crazy situation. I can't even tell you who actually won that. Saying hi to everybody here. Douglas Underhill, I see, signed in from Florida. Susan Gilbert. Susan Molly was actually in 13th. And I'm going to have to wait for the official on that. I can give you Moto 1. Molly Fern ended up at 13th in Moto number 1. But we don't have any of the updates on the scores here. That was a crazy race. Thanks, James. Appreciate you chiming in. Susan Gilbert, get over the line, right? I'm not sure they did. That's the crazy thing. I'm not sure they did. The boats went over, they went over, but it was actually after they had connected. They connected before the finish line. So I'm not sure how they're gonna call that. Tell you what, you guys, I'll get you some more information after we get right back after this short message. All right, you guys, welcome back. You're watching the Grand Prix of Kuwait, brought to you by the UIM ABP Aqua Bike Tour. This was our season opener, and wow, this is any indication we're going to have an explosive year, and I mean that in a great way. Incredible racing for both these girls. I'll let you know what the update is on them. Both the girls walked in off of the course marshal boats. It looked like Janina Borgstrom was a little sore, and definitely Eminelli was walking a little slow too. I'm not sure if that's just being shook up, because I mean they flipped, ducked, tucked, and rolled. That was pretty wicked. But I will get you the update as soon as I have it. But again, both of them walked off. We'll go get them checked out, and I'll give you the update. I am also going to have to wait on the official call for the ladies' finish, and as soon as I get that, I'll have a chance to post it for you. If we get it while I'm live, I'll share it to you while we're live. Meanwhile, we're going to go ahead and switch it over to the guys. And as I had talked to you earlier, what they're doing each time is they're going to do the Parade of Nations. And then during the Parade of Nations, it serves a couple of purposes. It allows these guys to also get an opportunity to take a look at that start each and every time. As you and I both know, if you've ever raced, those starts have a tendency to change a little bit in between the motos, so they're going to get a quick look. You know what? Speaking of fast racers, let's catch up with one of them during an interview.
I'm feeling good. It was a long and tough moto out there. The conditions are really rough and the racetrack is not forgiving. So yeah, just happy to finish the first moto in first and looking forward for a second one.
All right, you guys, welcome back to the Grand Prix of Kuwait. Yeah, I don't have an official on who won on that moto. I will say unofficially, coming across before the connection, it was going to be Eminelli Ortendahl, but then once the connection happened, all bets were off. They did collide right before that finish line. I will let the officials give us the update when they've got them, and we are getting all the rest of the skis launched for Men's Ski GP. And wow, the live feed just went nuts. Yeah, I would have to say that has to be some of the most intense racing in the women's division, but we had inklings of that even last year in Sharjah, that this was going to be a very intense class of women this year, and you just can't back off or give anything up for that. A 500% effort for both of those young ladies. Very impressive run. And fast times. Yeah, I'm having people even come up from the stands. Who got first on that? Let me wait till I get the official for you. I mean, it could have been Emma. It also could have been Estelle Perez if they don't mark those two girls. So you have two options there. And I will say that both of those girls tried to hold on to the ski, and that could be a big shoulder wrencher as well. So I suspect if there's anything that's hurting them, that's probably going to be at least one. Well, let's switch it over to the boys. We've got Kevin Redderer after that win in Moto 1. And let's talk a little bit about the craziness in this one. So it started with Ulrich Berndsen, who in the pole position actually was in 6th. He was in 2nd in the first queue, and then he got a 6th place finish as far as fastest time in the 2nd queue, putting him in a great position, almost had an opportunity for a good hole shot. The challenge was he was hitting a little bit too much throttle, and his holder wasn't holding quite enough. He snuck across the line, and that cost him. That's why he got pulled over for that 20-second stop and go that you saw earlier. More drama in Moto number 1, boat number 88. That was Dan Anderson. His battery broke. And then Nacho Armias, who had such a great run, also was having issues under the hood. And what happened with that was an exhaust leak for Nacho Armias, who was up in 3rd at one point, ended up in Moto number 1 back in 6th place. Berndsen, meanwhile, ended up in 14th. Those are riders that we had been looking for. Meanwhile, here was your top 5. Kevin Redderer, Stian Schvettlein with a fantastic hole shot. Ended up at 2nd. Barnabas Szabo riding that another QB boat in 3rd. Michael Perez in 4th, and Axel Courtois in 5th. That's how it looked in Moto number 1. And let us get a lineup here. Down on the line, you've got Kevin Redderer on the pole position on the inside. Stian Schvettlein next to him on the inside. Barnabas Szabo lined up on the inside in 3rd. Axel Courtois in 4th on the inside. Hansen also on the inside. Gabor Szabo lined up on the inside. Guidi on the inside. And who's got the pole position on the outside? Well, that would be Michael Perez with the pole position on the outside. And unfortunately, I can't see too much past that. On that outside, let's see if these guys get an opportunity to see Lucas Benar, who didn't make it in the top 10 yesterday, but has had an incredible career of racing. I love his black boat. It's just very plain, but very easy to find him anywhere on the course. He's getting ready to go. Lined up on the outside as well. Barnabas Szabo, what a day. First, he gets nominated and then elected as the riders rep. Then he comes in 3rd, nicknamed Barney. All right, parade lap begins. And you can see Kevin actually riding for the UAE. And we've got Stian Schvettlein for Norway. Spain, of course. Hungary, France. Denmark, that's Oliver Hansen, of course. Andrea Guidi representing for Italy. Salman Alawadi for the UAE. Slaven Ivancic for Croatia. Mads riding in from Denmark. Gabor Szabo for Hungary, Ulrich for Norway, Markus Lutsekert for Estonia, and Lucas Benar for the Czech Republic. And that is how the start is going to look. As soon as these guys come back in, we'll get them relined up and ready to go for Moto number 2. 17 minutes plus 1 lap is what you're looking at. There's Barnabas Szabo. A little extra water time as he gets a solid look at what that start's going to look like. And I think he was picking his line like, I want to just go right here and I'd like to get the whole shot. All right, Barnabas coming in. Possibility too, we talked about this a little bit earlier, Kevin's boat not fresh. He has done very little to that boat between Sharjah and now, so it's just a bit sluggy on the bottom end. And I'm sure they've been working on it even between these 2 motos. But between that and a sleepy start, he really opened up the door for that Go Fast Gorilla boat. Chris Girello has been working with Stian the last year and a half. Got a commander hull and Go Fast under the hood, and it has certainly proven to be so. QB1, of course, is Quentin Bosch's boat. That's what Barnabas is on. And you could tell that he really likes that setup as well. Got to hand it to Axel Courtois. He has been a force to reckon with. Lined up on the inside. That top 4 riders, just about any one of these guys could nail it on this Holeshot, and the inside has proven to be pretty consistent, particularly in the ski class. Let's see if the odds prove to be in their favor once again. And looking out to the course marshals, so they can indicate when they're ready to start, and then the flag will be off to the side of them. Watching the quiet before the storm here. All right, the card goes up from the course marshal. Oh, Andrea Guidi had it fired really nice. Stian Schvettlein with a wicked start on the inside. Andrea Guidi right there with him, and so is Barnabas Szabo as they come in wide. Oh yeah, they've been working on the boat. Kevin Redder right there in second, and he is pushing Stian for the Holeshot on the inside and just stuffs the nose in on turn 2. Kevin Redder now in the lead on the inside. Stian Schvettlein in second. And it is Salman Alawadi on boat number 7 that is in third on the inside, and coming out of it, Lucas Benar, who had the pole, or had a good shot, excuse me, from the outside in second place. Gonna be Michael Perez in third, Stian Schvettlein in fourth, and Dan Anderson pushing on Stian Schvettlein. Dan Anderson stuffed a nose in and got around Stian for that 4th place spot right on that left-hand side of the track. And he set him up 2 buoys ahead of time on those 2 single buoys. That was a beautiful move on Dan Anderson's part. Salman Alawadi getting a lot of pressure from Nacho Armias. Wow, what a fantastic series. So much fun to watch this opening, and you've got Kevin Redderer with a very sneaky move on the inside. You know, it's funny, up until that start right there, I have not seen anybody make a pass inside the splits until Kevin Redderer just pulled it off on buoy number 2 off of that start. Well played. Kevin Redderer is going to take the outside split on that victory boat. Stian Svetline back in 5th, and you got Lucas Bernard going to follow. He's in 2nd. Lucas Bernard is going to follow through on the outside. Michael Perez on borrowed property. He's actually riding Estelle's boat, and he is working the inside. He's going to put a little pressure on Lucas Bernard. Came out tight. Lucas Bernard has the momentum. Not going to be a change. Lucas Bernard 2nd, and it is Michael Perez in 3rd. And it's Dan Anderson in 4th. Look at Stian continuing to keep the pressure on Anderson in 5th. Nacho Armias in 6th. Salman Alawadi in 7th. And Abdullah Alamadi in 8th. Let's get some times. 1:37.74 for Kevin Redder. Lucas Bernard with a 1:47.19 in 2nd. Michael Perez with a 1:47.94. That's your top 3. And that is just a heap of very fast riders in that mix. And you can see the water getting torn up. 17 racers on the course. Oh, cool shot of the backstretch. Stian Svetline is down on that one little turn right before the backstretch, and Nacho Armias now in his back pocket. And just looking up here, Dan Anderson. Let's see what split Dan picks up here. It was a great run. Stian actually came out ahead, and Dan got around him on the left-hand side of the track. Now we've got Nacho Armias, the comeback kid, after 2, not 1, but 2 massive leg injuries over the years, and look how well he's aboard that boat. With that exhaust leak earlier, he thought that he was going to have an opportunity for that top 3, but that boat just started to give out on him. Michael Perez has now got more company, and look up as Dan Anderson putting the pressure on him, and Dan's getting around. All right, Kevin Redderer leading with the 1:37.74. Lucas Bernard, 1:47.19. And Nacho Armias still in that mix, and Dan Anderson got around him. Dan Anderson just on fire. Dan, by the way, had that battery problem, then Dan goes down. Nacho Armias gets around him. Got the results in the women's class. Jessica Chavon taking the win. Estelle Perez in 2nd. Lisa Kassan Battaglia took 3rd. And Joanna Grassa took 4th. Yasmin Eprouse took 5th. And looking down, just trying to see, Eminelli Ortendahl ended up with 10th. Jonna Borgstrom in 11th. Sophie Borgstrom in 12th. So that is how it looks once again. It was Jessica Chavon that took the win, and that is her first Moto win on the UIM ABP Aqua Bike World Championship Tour. So a day of upsets as we come back to the action for the men's ski GP. I'll give you the update on the ladies as soon as we find out how they're doing. We got 6 minutes and 33 seconds into this 17-minute race, and no upsets so far in that front grouping. We've got Kevin Redderer in the lead, and that Victory Team boat charging forward with no problem. Lucas Bernard, great shot from the outside split, took 2nd, despite the fact that Stian was coming through that inside split section incredibly fast. It was Lucas Bernard that took over that 2nd place spot. He has not moved back from that. Nacho Armias has moved up into third. Michael Perez dropping off the pace slightly, and then you've got Dan Anderson in fifth, Schvetlein in sixth. James Bushel, Kevin stole my holder. I think he did. Jeanette, I'll let you know as soon as I know on the girls. They are actually, both of them got off of their course marshals just fine. They got off the course marshal boats. I am guessing they'll get them checked out and let you know. All right, hey, we've got the media update. Both girls are fine. They were back hugging each other. Everything's all right. So it was just a racing incident. Jessica Siobhan taking the win. And you've got Lucas Benar and Nacho Armias going at it on this front stretch. Lucas Benar with a 1:47.19 and Nacho Armias with a 1:48.28. Again, Jessica Siobhan with the win. And Perez and Lisa Kazan Battaglia, your top three. In the women's class. Eight minutes, 41 seconds. Fastest lap time thus far for Kevin's been a 1:37.74. We're on lap 5. His current lap time, a 1:52.43. Nacho Armia's got to be feeling pretty good after moto number 1 with that disappointing exhaust leak. They got that fixed pretty fast. So kind of an interesting thing, you know, a lot of these riders now, because of the speed of the boats, and also we're switching legs and pushing so hard on the rails because these boats are so wide, I'm noticing a lot of riders are actually wrapping their legs underneath the wetsuits. Nacho Armias was showing me that tactic. He actually has got vet wrap and pads. He actually wraps each race with the vet wrap on his lower legs, and if you take a look, you can actually see the scars from the rub marks just from pushing on the sides of the rails so hard. Curious if you guys have seen that too. Oh, got around him. Nacho Armias up in that second place spot. Lucas Bernard faded out of the split section before they even got out of that outside split. Nacho Armias moved into second. Man, he is on Redemption Road. Nacho had gotten his leg hurt, broken actually multiple places, and had several surgeries. I'm sure if you followed him, you had the opportunity to hear about a lot of that. But I think what's cool is the 2 years that he was off, he actually had trained several other riders, including one of the guys from Morocco that came out and did the tour with us. Super great, fun rider, fun to hang out with, and it is so cool to see him back, and it's also good to see him riding so well. Watching Kevin Redder, boat number 90, defending two-time world champion. Outside split. And Michael Perez back on the tour with us this year. Hopefully he'll be able to do, I'm not sure if he's doing all the stops or not. On Estelle's boat for this round, he's in fourth. Bernard third. Oh, there is Lucas Bernard as he does that super quick single. They're on the right-hand side of the track. And it looks like Michael Perez came into it, but again, he just got so much little room to maneuver. He tapped the buoy, actually went down briefly. That's what I was talking about. That thing is so narrow, it almost is barely enough to get your boat through them. Very technical little section. All right, then they go into the outside splits. Looks like Michael's going to choose that route as well. Armias' fastest lap, a 1:45.35. And Lucas Bernard, 1:49.17. His fastest, by the way, is 1:47.19. Your top 4 again: Redder, Armias, Benar, and Anderson. Dan Anderson, best year ever last year. Hit the podium in Sharjah, Moto number 1, and in Moto number 3 at Portimao. He was in second. Best finish second Portimao and Qingdao, and ended up with a second overall in 2019. And man, he came out of that so happy. He's from Bergen, Norway, 22 years old. And he too aboard the Kawasaki boat. The decks, I know he's had a lot of work from his dad underneath the hood. Looking up, that sounds like something's going on with Kevin's boat. Again, I said they had not had a lot of chance to work on that. We are on lap number 8, 13 minutes into this 17-minute moto, and that was an uncomfortable sound as Kevin Redder went through the front stretch. Actually backed off of that boat slightly. Let's see what happens with him on this lap. Nacho Armias came through just fine, but Lucas Benar is swimming on the front stretch. Lucas Benar was in third. Now he is looking for a ride from the course marshal to go get his boat. So that is a really tough break for him. Michael Perez back up in third, Anderson in fourth. Meanwhile, let's catch up with Kevin Redder. I'm curious how that boat is going, because man, it did not sound good. And he's got a lot of time left on the clock for a boat that may not be full. You can see Nacho Armias up at the top of the screen. Yeah, Kevin, I just see coming through. He is really slowed down on the boat, and Nacho Armias got around him, I do believe. He did. Nacho Armias, your new race leader in Moto number 2. And Kevin Redder just trying to hold off the rest of the pack, and now Michael Perez gets around Kevin Redder as well. So Kevin Redder having problems with the boat, and that is a potential disaster to a Grand Prix win. Nacho Armias coming through, his time a 1:49.17. And Dan Anderson coming into that inside split. Perez came from the outside in second, and you've got Anderson now third. And Stian Schvetlein in fourth, but you know, now that I'm looking at Stian a little bit closer, it looks like he too might be having some problems with his boat. Anderson dropped back just a little bit. Looked like he pulled a lanyard out. Stian Schvetlein got around him. And Kevin's done. Kevin is done. I wondered, we had all the other guys going through. It looked like something happened, but oh, what a tough break. You can see Kevin just on the split section and literally had to go down and be in the tray of the boat just to try to get that boat around the turn. So slow detonation, unfortunately, for Kevin Redder, as Michael Perez and Nacho Armias work that back stretch. What a crazy afternoon of upsets. That's the second upset in 2 motos. Wow. Tough moment for our defending world champion. Michael Perez come back after a year hiatus and already looking to set up another Perez on the podium. Let's see what happens. White flag is out for these guys as Nacho Arminas works to complete this final lap. He too has got to be thinking about engine problems. Remember that the exhaust system was giving him trouble in the last moto, and right now he's just got one more lap to go to turn this into good times. Moto number 1, Arminas ended up in 6. He's got the opportunity to take the win in 2. Michael Perez, and then Stian Schvetlein. What a year this could be for the gentleman from Spain. This will be his first opportunity to do a full year since his injury. Multiple fractures. He had several surgeries to fix the fracture, to include a pretty bad infection that he'd gotten in that leg. Took 2 years off in that time. He'd been training a lot of the riders from Spain. He still was coming out on the tour as a mechanic and helping some of the other races that were doing the tour. And then last year we had the chance to see him in China and in Sharjah, and he just kept getting faster, but Nacho definitely back in the saddle as you watch him approach that final set of buoys before he comes into the split section. Look at how rough it's gotten out on that right-hand side of the track. That's the splits, outside splits he's working. Oh my goodness. Nice control for Nacho Arminas. Next person closest to him was Michael Perez with a 17-second lead. And look at this, taking the win in Moto number 2 from Spain, Nacho Arminas. Look, pretty happy guy. All right, sneaking into second, Michael Perez on boat number 96. He's making that OPP look pretty good. We're just gonna give his sister a hard time now. And in third, Stian Schvetlein. 4th, Dan Anderson. 5th is gonna be boat number 3, and that is Abdullah Al-Amadi. And then in 6th is gonna be Salman Al-Awadi. 7th, Axel Courtois. And Barnabas Zabo rounding out 8. And you can see the reaction down there from Dan Anderson, who had a great one. He was up in second at one point, having snuck around Stian Schvetlein and then dropped back. Still a great run from Team Norway. You've been watching men ski. This was our second moto for that. Whew, I had to catch my breath. Once again, the winner in the women's ski after all of that drama was Jessica Schwan on boat number 99. Arenas piping in on the feed. Nacho Arminas on fire. He really was today, wasn't he? Alexander Bourgeois, Travis Kraft, all saying, go you little Spanish legend. Oh, I am totally stealing that. I am totally stealing that. I am not at all surprised to see the feed light up for Nacho Arminas. He is a very fun-loving guy, well-loved on the tour, and great to see him do so well. Good to hear, Travis. I'd love to have a Cooper Beekman there. All right, you guys. Well, that completes Moto 2 for the ski class. We'll be right back with Moto number 1 and Runabout right after this. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Grand Prix of Kuwait. Brought to you by the UIM ABP Aqua Bike World Championship Tour. This is our season opener. And speaking of cool openers, we got a great interview for you. We'll be right back after this.
season is going to start in Kuwait. That is a very big achievement that we did with the new club. We have a good time to train, 2 months maybe till the next race. I will focus first on, healing my shoulder a bit, taking a bit of a rest, and then as well do training in the gym, and then like a month before the race I will do the intensive training to be 100% ready to represent my country.
Hey guys, welcome back. You are watching the first moto get ready for Runabout. And let's do a little bit of recap on that from the first qualifier yesterday. You could tell that Rashid Altair was firmly back in the saddle after a disappointing finish in that final round in Sharjah with the boat giving him issues, but there were no issues on Thursday. He took the win in Q1 with a 1:32.87 as fastest lap time. Again, it was pole position qualifying. Marcus Jorgensen in second. Now pay attention. He was only 6.69 seconds away from Rashid Altair. Sam Johansson in third. Yosef Abdul Razak in fourth. And that was Q1. Let's go to Q2. In Q2, Altair with a 1:25.38, and then in second was Yosef Abdul Razak, and in third, Marcus Jorgensen, wait for it, exactly 0.69 seconds separated him once again from Rashid Altair. That is a bit of craziness. I'll tell you who else looked really good and thought he was going to have a great run at it in that Q2, and that was Matea Fracassa, and Matea was flailing hard across this front stretch. I mean, he was rocking. And then suddenly the ride plate dropped. It actually unhooked on the back of his boat. That sent Matea Fracassa feet over tea kettle, I guess the best way to say it. He just doing cartwheels on that front stretch. They did take him off to the hospital, came back okay, he was just sore. He is gonna be out on the track today, but that was a bit of the ruckus that happened during qualifying yesterday. Speaking of all these great racers, let's take a look at the entry race because we got a lot. Rashid Altair, of course, at the top of it. Yosef Abdul Razak, Jorgensen, Johansson, Molina, and Rasmus Hansen. Lorenzo Matea back out. Christoph, Lino Arahu, Jan Jensen, Johan Johansson, Salim Althimi, Frederick Brandau from Germany. Conrad Robel, after having some engine challenges, is back. Yosef Althimi, Kylie Elmers, Andrea Dominguez, Amir Itani back after a bit of a break, rider from Lebanon. Rashid Aldawas also back in the house, a Kuwait local. Abu Bakr Al-Mari and Andres Wisniewski rounding out your field. 26 riders will be joining us today in Moto number 1. All right, Rashid Altair is going to get the honors. He's got the pole position on that inside. It's going to be Yosef Abdul Razak right next to him, followed by Marcus Jorgensen. Ali Al-Anjawi riding for that victory team also on the inside. Looks like Jensen also lining up on the inside. Man, this is a big field of riders. I can't wait to see these guys take off. And a beach start, no less. Can you say holy Holeshot? I can't wait. It's going to be very cool. All right, I'll try to get you the numbers on the outside in just a minute. But again, Rashid Altair with pole position on the inside. I think it's Sam Johansson with the pole position on the outside split, which would make sense. I see Lorenzo Benali is also lined up on the inside. Jensen's lined up on the inside as we get ready to go for the Parade of Nations. Now when they go through, I'm going to show you those 2 red buoys, and you have to go past those red buoys before you can start the merge. They must hold their line prior to that. This one's going to be a big one. If James Bushel is still tuning in, he knows exactly how it's going to feel. 25-minute moto plus 1 lap for these guys, and it is all about keeping the boat together. And you just gotta have a moment to say it. You also can't run out of gas. That has actually been an issue for some of these riders. They've had to do extended gas tanks for these guys, and they've also had to really manage fuel consumption, because that's a real issue when you've got a motor going full bore for 25, sometimes 27 to 28 minutes, depending on how the moto finishes out. So we are getting ready again for moto number 1. Now look out over, you can see the 2 red buoys right in front of you, the big cans. That's where they gotta go. They cannot change lanes until they get past those 2 red buoys out in front of them. Your defending world champion, you got to see him over there, that is Jeremy Perez. Jeremy, by the way, finished up in 7th after the qualifiers, and Q2 came out in 7th. You're probably wondering where he landed up. I cannot tell. Hey, Tiago Gettin's in the house. Good to see you, sir. Darius Oljanek, safe race for all riders. And keeping our fingers crossed for the Polish pilots. Well, I'll tell you what, the Polish riders have been working very hard underneath the hood. Andrzej Wisniewski had a wire harness that came undone in the qualifying. They got that fixed first thing this morning, so they should be good to go in this moto. And I'm not sure what was going on with Conrad's boat. I didn't hear anything. I asked him a couple of times if it was running okay. All right, so getting these guys sorted out on this beach start. And you can see down this line, it does look like Perez might have lined up on the outside. Probably a pretty smart move. Again, finished up in 7th. Yeah. I just got a semi-confirmation from our media tent saying that we're pretty sure it's Johansson that's got the pole position on the outside. Rashid and Yosef and Marcus Jorgensen all on the inside. And that boat number 3, that's Alle Al sponsored by Victory. He's out 4th. Ooh, this is gonna be awesome. And you can see the shot here behind Yosef Abdul Razak, actually in the Guinness World Book of Records for most world championships in this runabout class. Going for his 5th. It looked like Jorgensen was going to have it last year, if you remember that, all the way up to that final moto. Jorgensen was leading in points and broke on the final turn buoy on that outside split, and he couldn't get that boat going, and that last 5 buoys were the ultimate fate for Jorgensen, costing him that title. Meanwhile, Jeremy Perez, what a crazy story he had. He actually came into that last round in Sharjah in 6th place. Didn't know if he was going to have a shot at winning, but with this new point system, all of these guys have an opportunity. Nobody's pulling away very far. So the way it works now, you get 25 points for that first, for that win, and 22 points for second, and it goes all the way down to 20th. 20th, of course, getting 1 spot. So those equal points all the way through have really kept these guys in the battle throughout the season. Wow, the ground just vibrated as they lit up the boat. So we're going to do the parade lap. Of course, Rashid representing for the UAE. Marcus Jorgensen has a brand new team and a brand new sponsor, riding for Team Sharjah, and he too is going to be sporting the UAE flag. Samuel Johansson, of course, riding for Sweden. Yosef for Kuwait, a home product, hometown boy. Jeremy Perez, your rider from France. Rasmus, of course, from Denmark, so Denmark will be represented. Rasmus Hansen will be riding for Denmark. Mattea Fracassa back out from Italy. Molina from España, Spain. Lorenzo, one of our longest riders, not oldest necessarily, but he's just been on the tour the longest, over 20 years for Lorenzo Banaglia, and he's riding for Italy. Christophe Agostino for France. Lino Araujo for Portugal. Oh, I just got goosebumps as we get ready to rumble. 22 countries, 62 riders. Boom, baby. We are in first moto for Runabout. Will this be as crazy as the other two classes? Who knows, but I will tell you this, 25 minutes is a long time for a Rotax engine and a Sea-Doo boat to stay together. Despite their efforts, this is a lot of pressure on these boats, and we are running in saltwater conditions. So let's see what happens as we get these guys lined up. Ain't nothing like the smell of race fuel in the afternoon. Sea and Ocean Marine. GP1 in the house. I see Moad has just signed on. Where is Morocco? I agree, we need Morocco. Where is Morocco? Where's the Moroccan riders? Darius, I don't know why you're not here, but you should be. I see Trayley doing a shout out for Good Luck Jeremy. Alex Ewings, thanks for joining us on the live feed. Woo, it just got legit. Marta Sortino just signed on. Congratulations on your new baby. We miss you too. All right, Conrad Robel and Andres Wisniewski all lined up on that outside. So keep your eye on that outside split. That could be a big rumble fest. Meanwhile, Rashid Altair, who has had the fastest time on the track thus far, 1:32.87 is the track record for this weekend, and that's held by that young man from the UAE, Rashid Altair. He is a triple threat, by the way, races and has raced boats in the past. Oh. All right, they're getting them locked in. Just taking a look down this lineup. We had 27 riders coming into it. We have just got an entire flock of Hansens here from Denmark. Mads is here, and Oliver is here, and now Rasmus in the runabout class. And Oliver, thanks for joining us for your first year on the pro circuit. It's great to have you. You are definitely making your mark. Okay, cool. I just got another update. It's going to be Sam Johansson on the pole position on the outside split, followed by Hansen. That's Mads Hansen. And then in third, Jeremy Perez. That's what the look like is on that outside. And then you've got triple trouble on this inside split with Rashid Altair, Yosef Abdul Razak, and Marcus Jorgensen all lined up on the inside. You guys have to hide now, just for a minute. Our amazing crew helping us out here. All right, let's get ready to go. You are watching H2O Racing. This is the UIM AVP Aqua Bike season opener, the Grampian Kuwait, and we are loaded as the runabout class gets ready to go. That should be a little bit crazy. It was Yosef Abdul Razak lined up. He was actually pushing just a little bit off to the left, managed to maintain his line, but that was Dicey. Rashid Altair on the inside split. It's Jeremy Perez on the outside. Rashid Altair with a hole shot. Jeremy Perez in second. Yosef Abdul Razak with a beautiful move for third. Sam Johansson in fourth. And look at that, it's Alle Lajoie in fifth. Christoph Agostino in sixth. And is that? It is Andres Wisniewski in seventh. Beautiful start for the GP1 runabout class. Meanwhile, Rashid Altair smoked it from the inside split. But what a great job for Jeremy Perez. He actually set up a lovely start on that outside. He was lined up third from the pole, turned it into a hole shot from that outside, and that's going to put him in second place. As they come around, we'll find out what the times are going to be on this first lap. That was wicked. Now remember, we've got a different course between the runabout and the stand-up class. 1.9 kilometers, still got 31 buoys. They've got to negotiate on each lap. But the thing to remember is that backstretch is not truly a backstretch. It is actually one high-speed right-hand turn. And as they come through, Rashid Altair from the outside, and Yosef Abdul Razak's almost side by side. He just gets around Jeremy Perez, moving into second place. Jeremy in third. And it is Sam Johansson in fourth. Alle Lajoie in fifth. Marcus Jorgensen in sixth. Time for Rashid Altair, 1:33.88. Yosef Abdul Razak with a 1:33.13. Jeremy Perez with a 1:35.87 in third. Sam Johansson in fourth with a 1:38.53. And Alle Lajoie with a 1:38.55. Jorgensen, 1:37.81. Agostino at seventh. Wisniewski in eighth. Randau in ninth. Johansson in 10th. Rasmus Hansen in 11th. Whew. That was crazy. All right. Take a look at how big that backstretch is. And mind you, Yosef Abdul Razak fighting and a pretty injured shoulder. And those guys went out to the ocean. That was a huge turn. They actually go by the turn-in. You can actually see where the stand-ups were turning on that double buoy. Now look at this tight turn that they have to go through, that 2 single, where the stand-up skis could barely get through. Now they're pushing those big runabouts in it. You just see Sam Johansson in that clear water in the back behind that yellow buoy, and then there's Alle Lajoie right behind him. Meanwhile, Rashid Altair goes to the outside. It's going to be Yosef Abdul Razak on the inside split. Yosef Abdul Razak, is he going to catch him and have the momentum? What a nice turn for Yosef. Unable to take advantage of it, but an amazing run for him from that inside. 1:41.86 for the current lap. 1:41.09 for Yosef's lap. 1.74 between the two. All right, let's take a look. We got four measly minutes into this 25-minute moto. We do need an American team on this tour, Doug Underhill. Marta Sorrentino, much love for her husband as he is on the charge out here, running up in that third place spot. But man, the story for the gentleman that was instrumental to help us get out here for the Grand Prix of Kuwait. This is the season opener that you're watching, the UIM ABP Aqua Bike World Championship Tour. And I've already got riders in there taking advantage of that black buoy. Now the black buoy is right before the finish line, and that is if you feel like you missed a buoy, it's your only opportunity to go in and pick it up. Meanwhile, Rashid Altair, look how tight these turns are as he works the right-hand side of the track before they get in into that split section. That was the final double, and then they have the opportunity to pick the blue or the green. That blue is the outside, and that is the straightest shot from that final turn into the splits, going to the outside, and it's going to be a fun run for these guys and allow them to get some pretty fast times. Rashid Altair just hit the front stretch. Let's take a look at his time as he comes through. 14172 on that one. 2019. And look at Sammy Johansson on the gun. Sam looked great in qualifying, and he's actually putting pressure on the defending champion, Jeremy Perez. Sam in that 4th place spot. Now Rashid's best finish in 2019, he had a 1st in Moto 2 in Portimao. Also his best finish was 1st in Portimao overall. He ended up 7th, but again, part of that was because of the breakdowns. And Mateo Fracasso, unfortunately, having to come in after riding out there. I know he was pretty sore from yesterday's activities. Marcus Jorgensen, who was a little frustrated, said with his qualifying time, he kept stabbing the nose out of the outside split, trying to get a fast qualifying. Despite that, he was only 0.69 seconds off of the lead in the qualifying yesterday. Right now, riding solid. Jorgensen up at 6th. And we got a long race and a long tour ahead of us with 6 stops spanning the globe between the Middle East, Europe, and Asia. And I love the fact that we started off so early. Take a look at the website at aquabike.net, and you can get an opportunity to see of all the places that we're going. Now, Jorgensen had his first chance to truly lock down one of the championships that has eluded him, and this is the World Championship on this tour. And he was mere points away from it last year when he broke. All right, inside split, stabs the nose in it, riding for Team Sharjah this year. So he's got a great team to help him out. Johansson, the 17-year-old who's been racing with his dad, actually beat his dad on the Swedish tour. And Jorgensen came out and just put the pedal to the metal on the front stretch. Taylor with a 1:42.29. Abdul Razak with a 1:41.73, despite that shoulder. Perez a 1:44.92 third. Jorgensen in 4th, a 1:40.82. And Jorgensen actually snuck around Sam Johansson out of that split section, and he did it. Sam went to the outside, Jorgensen to the inside. That's why he was pushing that boat so well. Great turn, and that final turn onto the front stretch is what helped him get into 4th. Jorgensen's time, 1:40.82. 2 seconds faster on that lap than the other riders. Rashid Altair, fastest time thus far, 1:33.88. By the way, he's got the current fastest track time, and Jorgensen pushing Jeremy Perez, and I don't think Perez realized he was that close to him. Came right from the outside. Jorgensen just pushed his way right past Jeremy Perez, and he has overtaken for 3rd place. Question is, will Perez be able to answer that challenge? They are right on top of that split section. Jorgensen goes to the outside, Perez to the inside. Actually, Perez went to the inside. Jorgensen had lap traffic that he's dealing with, and that might have checked him up, but not enough. Jeremy stuck that boat into the turn. Jorgensen locks in 3rd, Jeremy in 4th. Despite the fact that Jeremy Perez had a faster lap on his initial fast lap time, Perez with a 1:47 on that one. Jorgensen came in with a 1:42.21. Abdul Razak with a 1:40, only 3.6 seconds off of Rashid Altair. Yosef, with a busted wing, if you will, is still riding like a rock star. There were actually questions when we talked to him in Sharjah to see if Yosef Abdul Razak would even race this race in Kuwait. It was really depending on how he was going to feel as he came into that. He did a lot of physical therapy. He's been working with his doctors pretty much daily to get him in shape. And when I caught up with him right before this race, he said, there's no way I'm gonna not make it to the first time that the UIM ABP Aqua Bike World Championship Tour is here in my hometown. And there's your shot of the full-time world champion Yosef Abdul Razak in Moto number 1 of 2. In second and on that inside split, and there's a lot of lap traffic. Rashid Altair overtaking from the outside. Rashid is just in a whole mess of traffic. And look at Yosef Abdul Razak, always plays lap traffic very well. He actually went a little bit wide, and then as he came into that big triple turn off of the front stretch, he dove in tight, has already gotten around 2 lappers. And you can see just how crazy the water is over here on this left-hand side of the track. Again, the recap off the front stretch, they have a triple that they have to negotiate, and then 2 quick single turns, and then another triple, and then a quick double, and then they go into that massive, what I would just call one big massive sweeper right-hand turn. It's huge, 1.9 kilometers on this track. Actually thinking it might be a little bit more than that, as they had to extend it after their original measurements. And look at Rashid Altair pushing through the laps. We've got 11.31 seconds on the clock. Still doesn't have the fastest lap time, though, of the morning's moto, or excuse me, afternoon moto. That goes to Yosef Abdul Razak with a 1:33.13. Rashid right there, though, with a 1:33.88. He's got another decision to make. He's been working the outside, but with all these riders, it looks like he's going to go to this inside split. Rashid Altair works the inside. Let's see what Yosef decides. Yosef goes to the outside, and he does not have the same number of lappers, so he's going to be pushing through. Both riders to the front stretch, no dramas. Lap time for Rashid, 1:43.59, 1:42.71. I will say, Yosef's actually reducing the amount of time. 3.52 now is all that separates the two. Is 3.69 the lap before. Whew, caught some air off of that second triple white. And I hear the whistles up, but I'm not sure who they were directed at. I don't see any boats that are non-underway, so that's good news. A lot of traffic off of the back of the track, as we've had quite a few boats coming in to watch the race action. Yeah, I'd have to say Marcus Jorgensen has continued to improve every year. This has been the championship that has eluded him consistently. He was the closest I've ever seen him last year until that final round at Sharjah. Man, what a heartbreaker. But if anything, I think it came back even tougher this 2020 season, and he's got a great team behind him, Team Sharjah. And let's see what that brings. He's running very well right now in third. Yosef second, and Altair in third. We've got 13:39 on the clock of a 24-minute moto. This is the 8th lap. Rashid Altair going to the outside. I do believe that's his preferred lane. Went to the inside last time because of all the lap traffic, but as soon as he had an opportunity for some clear water, he went right back to that outside. He rides very loose in the upper body. Did you notice that? Some of these riders look pretty stiff in that upper body. They really feel like they're aggressively riding. Rashid Altair has always ridden very quietly up on top. Very loose, very relaxed. And that is Matteo Fracasso. All right. Rashid Altair is on to lap 9, but Yosef Abdul Razak had something go on with his boat. That might have been what the whistles were off of the back. Yosef actually just coming onto this front stretch, so something either pushed him off the boat or he pulled a lanyard. He looks like the boat's going great now, but that did cost him 15 seconds now off the leader, but Jorgensen in second and Perez in third. And Yosef Abdul Razak, after a great run, is back in sixth. So Jorgensen, your new second place. Perez third. Sam Johansson in fourth. Lajoie in fifth. Rashid Altair, once again picking up that outside split. And he's got some pretty clear sailing at the moment. A 16-second almost, 15.80 cushion between him and Jorgensen. And his team, by the way, is telling him, calm down, because you've got a good lead right now. That was funny. You got to be a little careful with that communication, because he really let off the gas. I think he thought something was wrong. But Rashid Altair, smooth sailing for him right now. Jorgensen, that's your second place. Let's see, 1:52.46. Altair with a 1:45.50 on that last lap. No wonder they were telling him he could calm down just a little bit. It's a long race. They don't want to go through those engines. Perez third, Sam Johansson back and forth. Lajoie. Lajoie. I haven't had a chance to watch him race in a while. It's cool to see him back in that fifth place spot. Thanks, Dave's here. It's good to have you. Marcus Jorgensen needs to change his hair color to black. I think he's blonde right now, isn't he? I haven't even looked. Pedro Henrique Bims joined us. Thanks so much. Whew. All right. You can see the clock working us way through. We're not even at the 10-minute left mark. Yeah, I guess we are a little bit past that now. 25:43. Yeah, so we've got a little under 10 minutes left to go as Jeremy Perez goes past a very nice yacht hanging out on the backstretch. Sweet. Sam Johansson, fourth. Perez, of course, your defending world champion. And this would be a twofer for Perez. Won the year before. Prior to that, had been pretty dry for Runabout champions prior to Teddy Pons and Jean-Baptiste Body. So Jeremy Perez, riding proud for France as your champion in 2019. But could it be Sweden that sneaks into a championship spot? This guy could be the one that carries them. It's Sam Johansson in fourth place. And he just keeps getting faster and faster, and another rider is down. That's unfortunate. Frederick Browndow off that front stretch actually has a boat. He's got his hands in the air looking for a tow hook. Meanwhile, you can see Jeremy Perez in the thick of it. That's the triple on the left-hand side. And then they go to the single, and then take a look how far out they go. It is one big long haul. So this is the runabout course that you're watching them on. That's the difference between the runabout and the stand-up course right here. Look how deep back into the bay they have to go. Jeremy Perez taking just a quick look back as they come off of that sharp turn and make it a run, but that is just almost full gear all the way. And it's Lino Arahu right ahead of him. And Rashid Altair is going to have to light it up because Jorgensen has been silently gaining time on him from the inside split. Jorgensen on this one, 1:42.07, a good 4 seconds faster, almost 4 seconds faster than Altair on that last lap. You are on lap number 12. And Perez coming from the inside. Johansson also came from that inside. say little. Let me just use that term as a complete fib. He's over 6 feet tall. He's taller than his dad now. They live in Stenungsund, Sweden. He's a student, rides for Team Arrogance in Sweden. Running a Sea-Doo and a Rotac engine. He's got all kinds of crazy throttle hobbies between Sea-Doo, and he enjoys motocross and snowmobiles, and he's not too shabby at the whole runabout thing. That's Sam Johansson on boat 4. Kawinka is in 4th. Meanwhile, Yosef Abdul Razak, after the interesting drop back, has held on to that 5th place spot. Andres Wisniewski has been kind of quiet. He started out in 7th place, is up in 6th. Rasmus Hansen at 7th. Lino Arahu in 8th, and Molina in 9th. And it looks like our rider from Lebanon is coming in. That's Amiri Tani, who's going to have to come in and get that boat checked out. Meanwhile, Rashid Altair coming away from that wall. And he rides just so solid. Only thing stopping him from the world title last year was boat problems. He had a good shot at it. All right, they take this final turn, and then look at this as they go deep on that big, big half moon backstretch. Actually goes past the yacht. Hi. Sam Johansson getting around Yosef Abdul Razak. Razak's like, wait a minute, come back here. I thought Yosef, he had him. Yosef actually had just snuck up on Sam, and I had the line, but couldn't hold it. Sam Johansson get back around him, holding on to the 4th. But Yosef making a run at him. He's not done either, despite the fact that he's got this sore shoulder. Yosef just not backing off. He's on the left-hand side if you're looking for him. That is a pretty typical hunt stance for the gentleman from Kuwait. He gets that kind of hunched over shoulder look, and he just locks into the boat. And he's got to be working for a little bit of redemption after that 2nd place to 6th. Johansson can feel the pressure, and it does look like both these guys are thinking about going to the inside. Let's see what happens. A lot of traffic on the outside. I wonder if Yosef will play the game here. He does. He goes to the inside split. All right, so Yosef's got a clear shot at it. And Sam Johansson also got a clear shot. Yosef having to go in and pick up the black buoy. And that just shut him down again for that last opportunity maybe to get around Johansson on that lap. Lino Arahu up in that mix as well. Lino is in 8th place. Gotta hand it to Wisniewski. Tricky start, had to come from that outside because the boat broke. Up in 6th place, and he has fought for it. Hansen 7th, Arahu 8th, Molina 9th, Benali at 10th, Christoph Agostino in 11th. Rashid Al Mullah is in 12th, Jorgensen in 13th. Algathimi in 14th, Johan Johansson in 15th, Conrad Robel in 16th, Kylie Elmers in 17th, Andrea Dominguez in 18th. All right, Rashid Altair, as we come into 24 minutes and 56 seconds, he will be looking for a white lap. No, not yet. Wait for it. these guys through that 25 minutes, looking for a white flag on this lap. Whew, that is just a mess. You're watching the right-hand side of the track, just above the split section. .25:43 on the clock. Yosef from that 5th place spot. Got to go through some of this lapper traffic. Let's see if he's able to get back in within strike distance of Sam Johansson. Rashid Altair gets a white flag. We got 26 minutes, 16 seconds on the clock. 1:47.12 for that lap time. Jorgensen second with a 1:47.55, and Perez in third with a 1:46.07. Johansson in fourth. Why is it? I'm interesting. .26:50. We're watching Rashid Altair on this final portion. White flag out. No dramas yet. Altair, Jorgensen, Perez, and Abdul Razak. Just got to keep the engine going. And we have yet another attrition. Looked like Jorgensen getting a tow hook in. Definitely just got to stay cool, keep the boat together for this final series of turns. He comes into that split section very relaxed on the upper body, and that's just what he needs to do. Just finish this out, keep it rolling. Takes a quick look over. He's got no traffic behind him, and his whole team lights it up as he finishes as the winner in Moto number 1. And that is right back on Redemption Road after a really tough series of breaks in Sharjah. And it's going to be Marcus Jorgensen in second. Solid effort from the gentleman from Denmark riding for Team Sharjah in 2020. Waiting for the rest of these guys. But again, your top two, Rashid Altair and Jorgensen. We're looking for Yosef Abdul Razak and Sam Johansson and Jeremy Perez, who just came in. Jeremy Perez in third. Oh my goodness, and it was a photo finish between Yosef Abdul Razak and Sam Johansson right at the end. Yosef Abdul Razak probably would have had that, but he had to go out and pick up that black buoy yet again, and he just edged that nose. I have no idea who ended up better. Let's take a look. Yosef got it. Yosef got fourth, Johansson fifth. Oh, that was close. I keep forgetting we have photo finish. It's so unusual. All right, so last minute dramas, even the runabout class not exempt from it. So at that very final turn, it was Yosef Abdul Razak that stole that fourth place from Sam Johansson. Great finale, and look at Wisniewski up in sixth, Rasmus Hansen in seventh, Lino Arahu with a great finish in eighth, Molina ninth, Benalia in 10th, Aldawas in 11th, and Christoph Agostino was 12th, Salim Agathimi 13th, Joanne Johansson in 14th, Kylie Elmers in 15th. I'll let him finish out just a little bit because we've still got riders coming through. But that, as they say, is the wrap for Moto number 1. We're going to have 2 motos. Still got freestyle coming at you. Don't go away. Sea and Ocean Marine from Facebook was saying endurance race at its best. True story. Lots of shout outs for Team Germany as well as the UAE. Congratulations once again to Rashid Altair, taking the win in Moto 1. Crazy, 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 crazy afternoon. We still got freestyle coming up. Several questions there. Welcome back to the Grand Prix of Kuwait. You're watching our season opener for the UIM ABP Aqua Bike World Championship Tour. This is the Grand Prix of Kuwait, our first time in Kuwait City. And what a warm welcome we got here. All right, we are back. Just checking in with our sound guys there as you watch the Runabout guys getting out of the water. And as we talked about, this has been one of the more challenging areas, has been the ingress and egress on that deep, deep sand, but they've been doing their very best. We've got 3 tractors out there helping them, as well as all the different teams, making sure that we're getting them in and out. That was like Lord of the Rings. Thank you guys so much for tuning in on the live stream with us. Crazy number of viewers on qualifying. We had 15,000 people tune in on our live stream on the first day of qualifying here. Special thanks to H2O. And speaking of cool numbers, since we've been talking an awful lot of stats today, did you know that H2O Racing has 13,000 total broadcast hours of TV coverage? Their website page views thus far have upwards of 1.409 million, 1,409,000 website page views for H2O Racing, 14,296 broadcast program, 160 crew members. And just as an average, when we hit these different cities, it's an average of 700 people in 30 countries that we bring in on our traveling tour when we hit these different stops. And of course, Kuwait City, no exception. Getting a shot of some of the crowds. And you would think after freestyle that we would be done, but no. We still got more cool action coming at you. And I'm not sure if we'll be going live with that or not, but we will be having the side-by-side slalom challenge happening tonight. And that's going to be our first ever on the 2020 tour. Side-by-side slalom challenge, and that'll be happening at 6 o'clock tonight. Special thanks to 2 of our great sponsors. Neon Glasses, of course. Been sponsors for the UIM ABP Aquabike World Championship Tour for the last several years in a row. Special thanks to them and Jas as well. What a beautiful day on Friday, and it couldn't have been prettier than this little postcard you're seeing out over the water as we get ready to go for freestyle. And because he wasn't able to coming out for the qualifying, he actually ended up with that last, whoa, wait for it. That last place, so he's gonna be competing first, I believe. That's Rashid Al Mullah. And that's gonna be rare for him. Rides for Team Abu Dhabi. Defending world champion in 2019. Oh, and did I mention 2018 as well? Great view. And Rashid Al Mullah getting ready to go. And he's got to be thinking, what is the, and this is going to be unusual for him, I can only imagine, because Rashid never just brings half throttle to anything, but a fractured shoulder nonetheless is a fractured shoulder. So how much do you have to pay attention to that before it affects you in the long term? So incredible strategy here, where it's going to have the first opportunity for him to get some points, watching Rashid Al Mullah as he gets ready for his run. Again, he didn't have the opportunity to go in qualifying yesterday, probably trying to protect that shoulder. So that is going to give him the chance to go first this afternoon. It's unusual, depending on how they finish in the points. As I'm sure you're aware when you're watching freestyle, the guys that finish with the best points in the qualifying rounds are the ones that go last. If you have the least amount of points, you're going to be starting first, and that is just an unusual place for Rashid to be. He's generally the last one to go the last several years. Let's take a look at his pedigree, if you will. In 2019, he won every single moto. In 2018, he had a 65-point lead. Once again, won every race. In 2017, his best was Sharjah and Dubai. 1 each. He has 15 Aqua bike podiums, 11 first, 3 seconds, and 1 third. Rides for Team Abu Dhabi, only 32 years old. And as we get ready to go, that is the gentleman that you're going to get a chance to watch out first. Now, didn't go in the qualifiers yesterday, fractured his shoulder. It was fairly serious, although he won't say that. But he's going to have to work around that challenge with the shoulder. He'll be the first one out. 3-minute routine. You're going to be watching freestyle. Oh, hey, great question. 4 marshals, and each of the marshals work a different zone. And Jeff Lakeford actually had a question, and I love you guys asking questions, thank you. The crowd numbers are, they're fairly significant, but they've been staggered all through the day. We've probably, if you look at the past 2 days, we're probably pushing over 3,000 here. Now, mind you, though, there are multiple attractions down here, and I may not be seeing all of them. These are the ones that actually came down in front of where we are broadcasting. So this beach is pretty massive. We're a part of Marina Beach. We're in Salmiya Bay. And in Salmiya Bay, I only have a limited area that I can watch during the broadcast. But I would guesstimate anywhere from 3 to 5 over the last couple of days, and we're not at the #1 day yet. So great question, Jeff. Thanks for asking. It's good to have you on the live feed. We appreciate you hanging out with us. Again, freestyle's going to be coming at you next. 3 minutes. We have a maximum on this as well, which is unusual and something very cool that the UIM ABP Aqua World Championship Tour does, and that is that we limit the number of riders in freestyle. We only have up to 10 riders. Now, the points are going to be awarded in qualifying, and that determines, it's the first rounds that we did yesterday, that really determines the start order of Heat 1, which is what you're going to be watching. Freestyler with the most points will be starting last. Starting order of Heat 2 is the reverse of the results of Heat 1. And here's how the points are going to be allocated. They have the opportunity for up to 100 points. We have 5 judges, and they are going to give points for a variety of tricks. So if it could be a backflip or a one-footed backflip, that would be considered 2 tricks. So they want a variety. They'll give up to 35 points just for that. 30 points for quantity, so the number of tricks. So that requires the riders in that 3 minutes to be doing a ton of transitions. They need to be fast in the transition, and they need to be accurate. So 30 for quantity, 30 for style. You know what style is? That intrinsic description, right? It's showmanship. It's the little details that they put into the trick. So sure, you could do a barrel roll, but are you doing a barrel roll and you're landing half in and out, even though you're still maintaining control of the boat? Or are you doing it with flair? That is the difference with style, and they will give up to 30 points for that. And it never fails, no matter how many times I come to these events, how much the crowd loves this particular genre. I don't know what it is, as much fun as it is to watch the closed course racing. I think freestyle, it's just easy to see it, right? It's beautiful eye candy out on the water. It's one athlete displaying skills that you just don't see. And I also think it's the showmanship. These guys, these ambassadors of air, if you will, are just incredible, and they always bring so much fun. So I think that's one of the reasons that this is one of the most popular genres that we bring each time we do an event. They are, we're holding Rashid from going out there till they got set up. Oh, shoot, I meant to ask on that. Hey, Nikolai, I'll see if I can find out real quick. One moment. Yeah, he was asking about the black flag for Krista and also for Sophie. When are we going to be in Panama? I don't know, Giorgio. When are you going to invite us? I will message scoring right now and just see if I can find out why they got that. Great question. I'm actually just texting. You were listening to me texting live as I ask about that particular infraction for both the ladies. I know, it was very riveting. I'm back. What's that crazy sound you hear in the distance? Not my vehicle. That's actually the tractors back down there helping get the runabouts out. We had that opening ceremony last night, by the way, and had a couple people ask me about that today. It was so cool. Tons and tons of dignitaries here and a lot of different press. We ran that yesterday evening. And just waiting on the answer for you guys. What other questions you got? Is there an In-N-Out and IKEA there? I have no idea. But I have Google, so I can most certainly check. Oh, I see what's happening. We actually have a demonstration you guys can see. as they come through with the different flags represented. Coming over the course with the Kuwait flag. That's why we were holding up. Burger King. Oh goodness. I do not know if they have a Burger King here. Oh, I like how I'm getting support from everybody. No. Thank you. See, Mo Neezer answered for me. You rock. Ah, okay. I do have an answer, by the way, on why they got the black flag infraction. It was invading the alternate course. So what happens? You have to hold your. Basically, I'll call it this: you have to hold your line, and that's what they were doing. They weren't holding their lines, and they moved into the alternate course, both of them, and that was what caused the black flag for them both. Thank you so much, Blake Corney. I appreciate you. Blake Corney joining us on the live feed, as well as a ton of other celebrities throughout the weekend. Tara Lajoie was hanging out with us yesterday, one of the winningest females in the U.S. Wish we could have her out on this tour. She is really spectacular to watch. But Blake Corney, a celebrity in his own right, he was the Grand Master of the Tower for years and years. Holder and race director for years in the United States, and great to have him on the live feed with us today. Thanks to all of you guys for hanging out with us. We've been breaking records. This opening round has been huge. Really appreciate all of your support. We're just chilling like a villain here before we get ready for the freestyle as we finish up this demonstration honoring the beautiful country that we've been hanging out in. And we're in Kuwait City in Kuwait. It was something I just learned yesterday, actually, when I was talking to one of our friends that live here, and it is interesting that Kuwait actually has no rivers, so the water desalination is actually their primary source of fresh water, and they have 6 huge desalination plants. And what a forward-thinking country. Way ahead, I think, of the rest of the world in that regard. Another interesting kind of side fact, hanging out, Kuwaiti dinar is the highest valued currency in the world. So 1 KWD, what they call it, equals 3.3 US dollars. Looks like we're going to have Rashid Al Mullah making his way to the water as he gets ready to go. He's going to be our first competitor riding for Team Abu Dhabi. And he's going to come right down here towards the judges area. Now this ought to be probably one of the toughest routines they've ever done. Now let me explain a bit about Rashid Al Mullah's personality. Number one, he doesn't do anything by halves. Typically his opening combination is at least 15 to 25 tricks. Like, he just doesn't mess around. The number of tricks that he does compared to the other riders is usually double to triple. And yet, this weekend, he's riding with this fractured shoulder. So the question's going to be exactly how is he going to play the game and still get on the podium this weekend? And that's got to be running through his mind. And a gorgeous opener into the barrel roll, backflip, backflip, barrel roll, backflip, 360, another 360, or you can call that a barrel roll either. Off camber 360, backflip, backflip, backflip. Now, one thing I did notice about that opening combination may not have been the same number of tricks, but here's what you can always count on with him. Did you notice how precise they were? Landed every one of those tricks, and he also was pretty darn calculated about where he was putting his body. Well done for an opening combination for Rashid Al Mullah, your defending world titleist. Team Extreme works with him on his boat. It's a huge backflip, reverses the barrel rolls. Well, these would be 360s really here. Backflip, reverses them, and another backflip. Again, normally these combinations would be 50 to 20 tricks. Right now, it's looking like he's going anywhere from 6 to 12 tricks. Playing a bit conservative. It's a smart move to do in his first heat. And he's got a can flip. Make that 2 in a row, and he does another little setup wake. Now, the riders actually in flat water competition always set their own wake. Wow, 740 into a backflip. 360 tail standed, and that would be something normally he would ride out no problem, but you could see that's where the shoulder injury had caused him to be a bit more cautious. He's not going to try to hold on to that ski if he loses control of it, and it was a good move not to. Sets it up again, reverse 540 into a backflip. Lovely move. Barrel roll, backflip. Oh, landed it a no-hander, well done, and he also did that right in front of the crowd. And everybody came down to get pictures of him. Rashid Al Mullah on the water. 3 minutes, backflip, quick setup, pops it. This guy is such a warrior. I mean, I can't imagine how that shoulder is feeling. Now, right now he's in alignment, everything's good. Doctor cleared him. Oh, beautiful backflip. Barrel roll, backflip. Barrel roll and another backflip, and he did that in fairly shallow water and lands with one-hander on it. Well done again, Rashid. And he's going to call it good. He's going to bring it in early. It was a good move for Rashid Al Mullah. That was a great routine, but he's not going to push it, which was smart. Man, my heart just goes out for him, you know, because I know how much he just really wants to just lay it on the line and go big, but right now he doesn't have any big issues on that shoulder, and he's got to play smart. Next one up, he's another little warrior. This is Pablo Nunez you're about to watch on the water. So much fun. He's from Portugal. Him and his wife both, Janina Johansson, been doing the tour for the last couple of years. But he has always played the part of helper for Janina Johansson in her title efforts. And it was just last year that they had a chat, and he was like, man, I really want to do freestyle. And she was like, well, rock on. And so he's now got the opportunity to do the freestyle tour. From Portugal. And he is aboard the Revolver, that is a boat designed by Lee Stone. And he too has an injury. You can see the tape on the arm. Not the arm, I'm sorry. You can see the tape on him, though. It's his wetsuit that I'm looking at. All right, does another quick setup. All of these riders have to set up their own wake so that they can get enough wave to launch off of. Went for a backflip and was going to do a double and just stubbed it a little bit. Rides for Flyjet Racing Team along with Joanna. I believe Liquid Molly is another great sponsor for them. He is, check this out, 52 years fun. Like the barrel roll for Pablo Nunez. Incidentally, In case you were guessing, he loves to fly. In fact, he's also a pilot with Air Portugal. You know, he's wanted to be a pilot ever since he was a little kid. So he's achieved that dream, and now he likes to fly on jet skis as well. You're watching Pablo Nunez from Portugal. I like the little setup here. Good one-hander lander for his backflip. Another one of his sponsors is actually TAP or Air Portugal. Barrel roll for Pablo Nunez. That's a nice combination that he's got here, and he rode it out. Well done. He's been working on these combinations. This, I'd say, is one of the trickier parts of freestyle, and I'm not the best one to actually talk, but I will tell you, from what I have seen, the combinations can be the ones that really make or break you. Good backflip for Pablo Nunez. Not enough just to land one good flip. You've got to put that together with 4 other great tricks. So it's the transitions and the explosive power as well as the showmanship, and these guys bring it all. Another little setup, wake. Lands it with a 540, and he was going for a one-hander. I think he got that. What's cool about these boats is every one of them's custom, right? You do custom footholds, custom handholds. Good, backflip, skimmed it slightly. Went into a 180 and another 180. Off-cambered it for some extra flair. So they customize the boats, not just where they want to put their hands and their feet when they're doing extensions or any aerial maneuver. Nice barrel roll for Pablo. But they also have these other little idiosyncrasies that they do for each rider. Good, 360, 180, close to shore. You'll notice how hard he's grabbing that handle pole and then like yanking it up, and then it looks like it just stays right there. It's completely different from how a stand-up racer would have a setup on their handle pole. But the idea for the freestyle riders is they want that thing to lock. So the minute they put it somewhere, they don't want it to move. Red flag is out. That's going to be the completion for Pablo Nunez's routine. A great run for this young man from Portugal. See what I did there, Pablo? I know. I know. Next up is going to be another really fun guy. Also seems to like the color orange. I wonder why. That's Yaroslav Turner from the Czech Republic. Yaroslav got a 4th overall, 3rd in the Grand Prix of Qingdao. It was his best year ever. And he's got a very fun opening routine. It's quick too, so he's going to bring it back over here, and he's flipped over his paint job a little this year. Typically it was just orange and black. He rides for Team Extreme. He's got an Extreme engine. He was Czech Championship, was his first win in 2005. And a big opener, 540, 360, 180, 180, 360, and backflip. Backflip walks it right into the beach. Nicely done. He was about 3 feet off that beach. Good combination for the opening gambit laid down by the gentleman from the Czech Republic, Yaroslav Turner. .360, 180, 180, backflip, backflip. Backflip, 180. do not know, Mr. Bergman. Big T Bergman was asking us if we're going live with the parallel slalom. I'll see if I can find out for you, and I'll get back with you. I don't know that, actually. All right. I actually just went off the mic for a second to ask one of the gentlemen in the crew to find out for us. All right, run was good, and then a little bit of disaster, lost the lanyard. The good news about this tour, the UIM ABB Aqua Bike Tour, they actually give you a 3-minute routine. So you can have a problem like this and still make up. So Yaroslav Turner gonna go a little old school, pulling off a fountain. That actually looked like Dawn tried to catch her horse for about 30 seconds there. Come back here. Okay, Yaroslav back up. Flat water. Wondering if something may be going on with that boat. So he's not going for any aerial maneuver. And red flag's actually going to come out. So that's going to complete it for Yaroslav Turner. You know, when he went down like that, he might have actually got a little water in that boat. Oh, nice. Going for the Hollywood corkscrew. Didn't quite complete. There it is, though. Made famous by Scott Watkins. I would say the only thing I am missing here is waves. I totally agree. I don't know who just posted that, but I'm laughing my head off at it. It is so super flat. Congratulations once again to Yaroslav Turner from the Czech Republic. That is going to complete his routine. Edged out. Edged out Pablo Nunez for that second place spot yesterday. So your gentleman in qualifying that won in the qualifying, got the most points, is going to be another young man from Italy. And you would think he was colorblind if you didn't know better, but he has got some of the coolest boats I've ever seen. He'll be coming at you in just a minute. But let me just toss the teaser out. His nickname is the Wolf. He was our winner in qualifying. And here he comes, Roberto Mariani from Italy. Taking the win yesterday in the qualifying. I love watching him. And I'll tell you why. It's not that he's the youngest competitor. It's not that he has the highest jumps. It is two things that endear him to the crowds around the world. And one is his incredible passion and love for freestyle, and it is clearly apparent the minute you watch him hit the water. And number two, it is his innate ability to be a showman. He does it from head to toe. It's everything from that brightly neon colored boat to his beautiful mix of old school tricks with very new tricks out on the water. Those are the things that draw the crowds in year after year as they watch the shuttle from Italy in a beautiful opener, a double backflip into a 360, sets it up with a series of 180s. And then another backflip for the gentleman from Italy, Roberto Mariani. I had a couple of questions about the parallel side-by-side slalom. We are still confirming our light systems for this evening. If we get that, ooh, nice. 540 for Roberto Mariani. Quick 180, 180. Backflip. If we get the light system, we will be going live tonight, 6 to 8 p.m. If we don't, we're unable to get all that locked down and we don't have the quality product for you, we won't go live. So it's like a teaser. I'll let you know later. All right, a good setup for Roberto Mariani. Again, they make their own wakes. That was a barrel roll. He's also quick on transitions. That's got to be another good reason why he finished so well yesterday. One-hander lander on the backflip. He was second in almost every moto last year, giving him a second overall in 2019, one of his best years ever. And you can see why. Great combination there. That's just a chance for him to catch a breather, do some transitions, follows it up with a backflip. "14-year veteran. He's got 14 Aqua bike podiums. Another backflip, rides it out. Not going to be a huge deduction for that. Don't want to lose your boat. Now here's some of the old school I talked about. Rolls it right over onto the front of the boat, pulls off a fountain. One of the first tricks we ever saw on the national tour in the US, and that was the fountain. Now the difference was we actually used to turn the fountain to the crowds. We don't do that anymore, but we used to. We would actually take that fountain and we would literally, they would have skis all up and down the beach at the finale. Yeah, and they would just flood the crowds. Of course, now there's that thing called cell phones. So I tendency to get upset about it. Big air for Roberto Mariani, back-to-back backflips. Nice landing, another nice transition, faces the crowd, nails another backflip. Now the idea behind these backflips, they seem ridiculously easy, right, until you actually try to do one. Oh, and a huge Ghost Rider throw for Roberto Mariani. Now, the challenge to the backflip isn't just launching that boat. It's not just the horsepower of the boat. It's not just having the perfect place that you need to be on the boat, but it's the landing as well. You want to land towards the back of the boat, but not too far back. If you land too far up, you're flat, and that hurts. Okay, barrel roll for Roberto Mariani. If you land too far back, you've actually stuffed the tail of the boat down in the water, and it's hard to recover. Good backflip again for Roberto Mariani. Oh, throttle control, but away from him just a little bit right on the end. And the red flag comes out. Still a solid routine for the Wolf. Sponsored by Jet Revolution. And that was gratuitous for the crowd over on the right-hand side. In Marina Bay. You are hanging out watching the Grand Prix of Kuwait, brought to you by the UIM ABP Aquabike World Championship Tour. This is our season opener, and this is going to complete this afternoon's fun and exciting and crazy and whole chock full of upsets day. We will let you know if we're going to be going live tonight. If not, I will see you right back here tomorrow. If so, hopefully I'll see you here tonight at 6 o'clock. One way or other, we're going to be doing some slalom up next right here in the Grand Prix of Kuwait. I'm Don Dawson. On behalf of H2O Racing, we'll see you later.